Imagine the scenario for a second. You're being actively hunted from four totally different directions by some very capable, very dangerous people.
Oh, yeah. Like the worst kind of people.
Exactly. You have a cartel breathing down your neck. You've got armed robbers literally crashing through your front doors. There's this mysterious predator sort of circling your business. And on top of all of that, you are trying to keep the person you love most from getting caught in the crossfire.
Right, which is stressful enough on its own.
Hey, but then you go to your doctor, and your doctor looks you dead in the eye and insists that it is actually your stress levels that are going to kill you first.
It is, I mean, it's the ultimate irony, isn't it?
Yeah.
The medical reality is just completely ignoring the tactical reality. Your body is physically giving out. But, the people outside that hospital room are arguably a much faster, much more immediate threat.
Definitely. And that sort of chaotic intersection of a medical emergency and criminal warfare, that is the beating heart of the new thriller film, The Get Out.
Yeah, it's such a brilliant setup.
It really is. So welcome to today's deep dive. We have been just poring over the preview materials, the casting notes, and the core themes ahead of its June 26th theatrical release.
And the VOD release is right after.
Yeah, June 30th for video on demand. And honestly, it paints a picture of a criminal ecosystem that is just fascinatingly complex.
It's a total mess, but a calculated mess.
For sure. But to really understand the pressure cooker of this story, we kind of have to start with the protagonist. So that's Manco Capac, played by Russell Crowe. And we need to look at the specific mechanics of the empire he's built over on Australia's Gold Coast.
Right, so Manco is this Albanian-American immigrant who, to the public eye, presents this flawless, American dream success story.
He looks completely legit.
Exactly. He owns this massive, pulsating, highly lucrative nightclub, but the club is not actually in the business of selling drinks or entertainment.
Not at all.
No, it's in the business of financial alchemy. It is a highly efficient machine designed specifically to launder drug money for a local cartel. Manco is, for all intents and purposes, the cartel's private banker.
Okay, let's unpack this because the mechanics of how this works are super crucial to understanding why he can't just, walk away.
Right.
A nightclub is like the perfect vehicle for money laundering because it deals in massive amounts of untraceable cash. So if you are Manco, you are creating these ghost VIP tables.
Yeah, totally fake bookings.
Exactly. You're inflating cover charges on the books. You are ringing up top shelf liquor sales when you actually just poured tap water into a bucket of ice for someone.
It's brilliant.
It is. You take the cartel's dirty cash, mix it with the legitimate revenue of the club, you pay taxes on it, and then you just hand it back to the cartel as perfectly clean, usable capital.
And that integration phase, that is exactly why the cartel values him so much. He provides this totally seamless service.
Yeah.
The ecosystem has been functioning flawlessly for years. Manco takes on all the operational risk, the cartel gets their clean money, and everyone profits.
Win-win.
Exactly. But the stability of that entire system relies totally on Manco remaining this static, reliable gear in the machine.
Which he doesn't.
Right. The conflict of the film sparks from a very human variable, which is that Manco gets comfortable. He falls in love with this woman named Sunny, played by Teresa Palmer, and he starts, looking at the horizon.
He wants a normal life.
Yeah, he wants out. He wants to sell the club, retire to the beach, and just be a normal, wealthy guy.
Which, if you're listening to this and thinking, well, he's the boss, he can just sell his business and leave, you have to remember the fundamental nature of the underground economy. It is like trying to cancel a gym membership, but the gym is run by a ruthless criminal syndicate.
That is the perfect analogy. You don't just put in your 2 weeks' notice.
You really don't. It's like trying to unmix a drop of dye from a glass of water. Manco's legitimate business and his cartel ties are entirely fused on a molecular level.
Yeah.
Does declaring you want out actually make you more of a target? I mean, his unilateral decision to stop laundering money isn't just a retirement. It is a direct threat to their entire financial infrastructure.
This raises an important question, right? Because Manco isn't actually running from anything initially.
Right. The cartel is totally happy with him.
Exactly. The cartel is satisfied. The danger stems entirely from his unilateral decision to alter a working criminal ecosystem without the permission of the apex predators.
Wow. Yeah.
When you manage a multi-million-dollar illegal pipeline, you do not get to dictate the terms of your resignation. But the really fascinating narrative choice here is what actually forces Manco's hand.
Because it's not the cops.
No, it isn't the police closing in.
Yeah.
It isn't even this big moral awakening where he suddenly regrets his life of crime. It is just basic human biology.
Right. He suffers a massive heart attack.
Yeah.
The sheer compounding pressure of managing cartel money while maintaining this legitimate front just finally breaks his cardiovascular system.
It's all that stress.
Exactly. He ends up in a hospital bed, and his cardiologist, who is played by Jolene Malalock, by the way, from Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she delivers this completely unnegotiable ultimatum. She tells him, point blank, that if he doesn't drastically change his life and eliminate his stress, his heart will literally stop for good.
It strips away all those glamorous illusions we usually see in the criminal underworld, you know?
Yeah, he's not invincible.
Exactly. The undefeated enemy isn't a rival gang. It's his own arteries.
Which is terrifying.
It really is. And that medical ultimatum serves as this brilliant inciting incident because it forces a timeline. Manco can no longer afford the luxury of a slow, careful exit strategy.
Right, he can't slowly wind down operations.
No, the heart attack dictates that he has to get out now. So he officially decides to put the club on the market, go completely clean, and get Sonny as far away from the danger as possible. He essentially makes the conscious choice to prioritize his life over his livelihood.
But of course, the universe does not operate on his new schedule.
Oh, not at all.
The very moment he decides to legally sell this club and get out, the criminal world violently yanks him right back in.
It's almost funny how bad the timing is.
Seriously. Disaster just strikes his front door. His club is hit by this highly professional, incredibly brazen robbery.
Yeah.
2 masked gunmen completely breach the fortress and walk out with the cartel's money. And the aesthetic of this heist is heavily stylized. They aren't wearing generic ski masks. They're actually wearing dead presidents' masks.
Which is such a brilliant, undeniable nod to that iconic bank robbery sequence in the 90s classic Point Break.
Oh, 100%.
For the audience, those masks serve as a visual shorthand. It signals that these robbers are not desperate street thugs committing a crime of opportunity.
Right, they know what they're doing.
Exactly. They know the history of the cinematic heist, they are calculated, and they are hiding a very specific level of professional capability behind a pop culture reference.
And when those masks finally come off, it completely shifts the dynamic of the film.
Yes.
The robbers are revealed to be this duo named Carrie and Jeff, played by Nina Dobrev and Aaron Paul.
Such a great reveal.
Right. Seeing Aaron Paul, who brings so much cultural baggage from playing Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad.
Oh, totally.
Seeing him pulling a masked heist in a Russell Crowe movie is a serious jolt of adrenaline. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's brazen, sure, but I look at those masks and I don't just see an homage. I actually see a distraction.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really question the surface narrative here. Are Carrie and Jeff actually working alone, like independent contractors who just happen to hit the club on the exact week Manco decides to sell? I mean, that timing is way too perfect. Or is this an inside job designed to sabotage Manco's exit?
The timing is highly suspicious, yes. And your instinct to question it is exactly where the narrative wants you to be.
Okay.
In the criminal underworld, there are rarely coincidences. A fortress like Manco's club just doesn't get hit by accident. The robbery strongly suggests that information has leaked.
Someone talked.
Right. Someone in the ecosystem smelled blood in the water. Maybe they learned about his heart attack or his plans to sell, and they just capitalized on that moment of vulnerability.
And let's be totally clear about what the actual fallout is for Manco here.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yes, the cash is gone, but the true cost is the loss of credibility. In the underground economy, you don't have FDIC insurance, right?
Obviously not.
You can't just call the cops and file a report for stolen drug money. Your security is your only currency.
Yeah.
The cartel uses Manco's club because it is supposed to be impenetrable.
Right.
If that fortress gets violently breached by 2 randoms in rubber masks, Manco suddenly looks incredibly weak.
Exactly. He transforms from this reliable, invaluable partner into a completely compromised asset.
Yeah.
In the legitimate corporate world, a breach of security results in an audit, maybe some fired executives.
Yeah.
In the cartel's world, a compromised asset is a dead asset.
Oof.
He has lost the trust of the most dangerous people in his orbit, which triggers this absolute chain reaction of chaos. The robbery is really just the first domino to fall.
Which brings the cartel directly to his front door to collect.
Naturally.
Enter Rodriguez, played by Daniel Zuvato, who is the cartel's man on the ground. And modern cartels don't always operate with like screaming bosses throwing tantrums anymore. They operate through cold, middle management efficiency.
Corporate violence.
Exactly. Rodriguez is that efficiency personified. He sits down with Manco and delivers a chillingly simple message. He does not care about the doctor's warnings.
Not at all.
He does not care about Manco's failing heart or his desire to retire with Sonny. He essentially says, we want our stolen money back immediately, or you and everyone you care about will pay the price.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that Rodriguez represents the harsh, unyielding reality of the contract Manco signed years ago.
Right.
Manco built his wealth, his status, his entire comfortable life on the cartel's terms. He happily accepted their illicit funds when it benefited him.
He took the deal.
Exactly. You cannot unilaterally renegotiate a relationship built on violence just because you suddenly have a change of heart, pun entirely intended.
Wow, yeah.
The cartel views Manco not as a partner with human needs, but as a utility. As long as the utility functioned, it was protected. Now, it is a liability that owes them millions.
It's an impossible bind. Like, think about the physical and psychological toll here. Manco has to launch a manhunt for two highly trained robbers, Carrie and Jeff, to recover the cash.
Right.
He has to simultaneously pacify Rodriguez and the cartel so they don't, execute him or Sonny in their sleep.
Yeah.
And he has to do all of this while actively trying to keep his heart rate down so his chest doesn't literally explode.
You nightmare.
It's a ticking clock on three completely different fronts. If he goes to the police, the cartel kills him. If he fights the cartel, his heart kills him.
It is a total masterclass in compounding pressure, structurally designed to just squeeze the protagonist until he breaks.
Yeah.
And just when you think the pressure is entirely insurmountable, the film introduces a wild card.
The miracle.
Exactly. A seemingly perfect solution presents itself right when Manco is at his absolute most desperate.
Right. So a supposed miracle walks into the club. This comes in the form of a man named Joe Carver, played by Luke Evans.
Yes.
Carver arrives looking super polished, charming, and heavily capitalized. He wants to buy the nightclub. On paper, this is the exact exit strategy Manco has been praying for.
It's the golden ticket.
Right. It's cash on the table, sign the transfer documents, hand over the keys, and Manco can finally pay back the cartel and walk away into the sunset.
And this is a massive... But the film's official synopsis explicitly states that Carver only pretends to be interested in buying the club.
Oh, wow.
The purchase is a complete fabrication.
That detail completely reframes the entire dynamic of the scene. I mean, if he's pretending, what does he actually want?
That's the real mystery.
If he's a fake buyer, he's not an exit strategy. He's a parasite waiting for the host organism to weaken. Is Carver a rival cartel? Is he pulling the strings behind Dobrev and Paul's robbery?
Oh, that's a good theory.
It makes you wonder about the mechanics of a fake buy in the criminal underworld. If Carver is pretending to buy, he gets to request financial audits. He gets to look at the blueprints of the building under the guise of due diligence.
He gets total access.
Right. He gets to see exactly how Manco's operation is wired from the inside out.
It is a predatory tactic straight out of corporate raiding, but adapted for the black market. Carver's deception is incredibly dangerous because it provides Manco with a false sense of hope.
It stalls him.
Exactly. By pretending to offer a way out, Carver freezes Manco. Instead of fighting back or fleeing, Manco wastes precious time trying to close a deal that will simply never happen.
Man, that's dark.
It is.
Hurt.
And Luke Evans is phenomenal casting for this specific archetype. If you look at his career, he has built a resume playing deceptively dangerous men who project this intense, underlying menace while looking perfectly composed.
Oh, for sure. He's so good at that.
Carver isn't rushing in with guns blazing like the robbers of the cartel. He is patient. He is watching a desperate, flailing man, simply waiting for him to bleed out.
He's the spider letting the fly completely exhaust itself in the web.
Exactly.
So look at this board state. We have an aging protagonist whose own biology is actively failing him. We have the Point Break-style robbers running loose with millions in dirty money.
Yep.
We have a cold-blooded cartel middle manager demanding blood. And we have a corporate predator mapping out the club's weaknesses from the inside.
It's an insane amount of chaos.
It really is.
Yeah.
But the movie doesn't just devolve into, like, mindless noise and shootouts, and that brings us to the thematic anchor of the entire story.
Yes, the film relies heavily on its psychological underpinnings to balance all that action. This isn't merely a kinetic thriller about a guy shooting his way out of a bad situation.
No, not at all.
It is an adaptation of Thomas Perry's novel Strip, and it carries over a lot of that literary introspection.
Well, Russell Crowe actually gave a quote about the project that really stood out. He described the film using these exact words. He called it mystery, mayhem, murder, and meditation. Right. Meditation is such a jarring word to use in the context of cartel hitmen and dead presidents' masks.
It really is.
So, what does this all mean? When you look at the mechanics of the plot we just broke down, it kind of makes total sense. Mangako isn't just fighting external enemies, he's fighting the consequences of his own complacency.
Yeah.
It's really a story about the universal, devastating cost of delayed decisions.
The psychology of the sunk cost fallacy is operating at full capacity here.
Completely.
Manco knew what this life was. He knew the inherent dangers of laundering cartel money, but the revenue was astronomical, the club was thriving, and the lifestyle was intoxicating.
Hard to walk away from.
Exactly. So he just kept putting off the exit. He stayed 1 year too long, and then another, and another.
And every single year he delayed making that hard, definitive choice to walk away. The walls around him got higher, the cartel's roots grew deeper into his business, and the exit door just got smaller and smaller.
Right.
The meditation Crowe is talking about is Manco being forced to sit in the ashes of his own empire and realize that he is the one who handed out the matches.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we really have to look at the directorial vision. Derek Borte is at the helm here.
Yeah.
Borte previously directed Russell Crowe in the psychological thriller Unhinged. And the thematic contrast between these two films is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, how so?
Well, Unhinged was an exploration of a man who had absolutely nothing left to lose. He was a character entirely consumed by nihilism, rage, and the desire to destroy.
Right, just a total force of destruction.
Yes, but the Get Out flips that paradigm entirely. Manco Capac is a man who has everything to lose. He has his wealth, he has Sonny, he has this desperate, vivid vision of a peaceful future on the beach.
Ah, I see. It is the difference between a man freely falling into the abyss and a man trying to, claw his way out of it with his bare hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Manco isn't fighting to destroy, he's fighting to preserve.
Yeah.
And every single antagonist in this film, whether it's Aaron Paul's enigmatic robber, the cartel's enforcer, or Luke Evans's predatory fake buyer, they are all forcing Manco to answer the same fundamental question.
Which is?
What are you actually willing to do to survive the life you created?
Man, it is a test of his absolute limits. His cardiovascular system is failing, his alliances are crumbling, and his wealth is completely gone. When you strip away the club, the money, and the status, what is actually left of Manco Capac?
That is the exact puzzle box this movie is asking the audience to solve.
And for everyone listening, you can see how all these moving parts collide when The Get Out hits select theaters on June 26th, before expanding to video on demand on June 30th.
Can't wait.
Honestly, I think the stakes are perfectly summarized by Manco's own exhausted realization in the preview materials. He says, this is not about money, it's about getting out alive.
It is the ultimate, brutal distillation of his new reality. The millions he laundered, the empire he built, the respect he commanded, it all means absolutely nothing if his heart stops beating or a cartel bullet finds him first. Survival is literally the only metric of success left.
Survival is the only thing left on the board. So as you prep for this movie, keep an eye on the mechanics we discussed. Look at how Carver uses the fake buy to freeze his prey.
Yeah, that dynamic is going to be wild.
Totally. Try to deduce who Carrie and Jeff are actually working for before the movie explicitly reveals it. Because in this ecosystem, everyone is aggressively pursuing their own agenda. It's really just a question of who manages to survive the collision.
The tactical execution of a clean getaway in an environment built entirely on dirty money is just such a fascinating contradiction.
It really is. And that contradiction leaves us with a deeply provocative thought to sort of mull over, circling back to that very first hospital scene. If you build your entire life, your wealth, your relationships, your safety on a foundation of deep moral compromise, violence, and deliberately looking the other way, is the concept of a clean getaway actually a physical impossibility?
Oh, that's heavy.
Think about the dye in the water. What if Manaco's sudden, desperate desire to escape is the exact trigger that proves the exit was never really there to begin with?
Right.
What if the very moment you sign that lucrative deal with the devil, the door permanently locks from the outside? It's a terrifying mechanism to consider. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Catch you next time.